welcome everyone. Welcome once again to the day one of the 7 days live on how to fix your business. I'm excited to have you here tonight, this evening, in case you are joining us all over the world. We're in 6 p.m. West African time. I'm excited to have you here today. Thank you very much for joining us. And today we're looking at a very critical topic, which is why your hard work is not making you money. Wow. Why your hard work is not making you money. I'm excited to be here today. Please, in case you are joining us live on this session, just type live. Let's get to appreciate you quickly. All right. Now, have you ever wondered why being busy is not the same thing as getting results? In other words, busyness does not equate to wealth. I used to have this challenge a couple of years ago, when I used to believe that I need to put in a lot of work. Hard work is very critical, it's important. But as we begin to grow and I begin to learn, I understand that hard work alone does not equate wealth. So there are some things you need to put in place. There's a way you are supposed to organize your thought to be able to achieve results that you really desire. Once again, I want to welcome you off to today's live session of the day one. Now let's quickly get down to the business of today. Now, have you ever wondered why most of the time, why in your business, you are working so hard with so much effort, so much energy, but yet it looks as if it's not adding up? Have you ever felt like that before? If you're like that, please just type hi. Just type 1. Let me get to know you are following us. So we used to have this challenge. Then and I begin to realize that most of the time it's not because the hard work is the issue. No. But I've come to realize over the years in business that it has to do with majorly our mindset, mind reset. Our mindset is very, very critical. Now let me quickly share a story too. I remember when I started business about a decade ago, all my mind was how to survive. How do I survive? How do I be able to take care of my immediate needs, my wife, my kids, and my immediate needs? That was the reason why I started business over a decade ago. But as I begin to grow and I also begin to learn, and I begin to realize that business is bigger than me, my family, and my immediate surrounding. That is to say, for you to be able to grow and be able to make something substantial or sustainable in business, or make income that is sustainable, you need to begin to have a mind reset. Are you the type that is in business because you just want to survive? Because I don't need to just get urgent 2K, 3K, 5K just to take care of my immediate needs. This thing is very, very important. I was once like that. I struggled. In fact, sometimes I would begin to think maybe there's a devil somewhere. There's no devil anywhere. The truth. There is no devil anywhere. I used to believe that whatever it is that you don't know, you need to find time to go and learn about it. In other words, what you know will always give you an edge over what you don't know. Have you ever wondered that most of the things that you don't know are mostly the things you have to pay for or sacrifice for? In other words, in exchange for money. So knowledge is very, very critical. So I begin to understand that the mindset has to change from survivor to sustainability, from survivor to scalability. Then I begin to I begin to look for ways to begin to learn how these things works. This thing is very, very important. Most of the time, I've seen some people that graduate over a period of time, over some couple of years, and you ask them, you are in business, they'll say yes. But have you ever sat down to go to a training on how business works, or on business leadership, or on business management? They will say, no, all the book I've read during school, I've read more than enough. I don't need to read again. I said, no, 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 no. You can't be in business without consistently, intentionally what? Upgrading your mind, upgrading yourself to possibilities. This thing is very, very important. So your mind reset is important. For you to be able to what? Make your hard work, make money for you, your mind must be shifted from survival to skill and to sustainability. This thing is very, very important. That's number one. Then number two is, so many of us, as I said in my own story, were in business for, I call it entrepreneurship necessity. Many of us are in business because we couldn't get jobs, because we couldn't get work. And all of a sudden, your family or your uncle, someone tell you, look, instead of you sitting at home, you've been for a year, just take this 100,000 and go and start business. There's nothing bad about it. Most of the time, you go and start this business because out of necessity. I know the problem is because immediately you are able to make maybe urgent 2K, 5K a day, you don't feel that is where the world ends. You are not thinking about how to expose yourself. You're not thinking about how to upskill. You are not thinking about how to grow. So entrepreneurship by necessity is one of the major reasons why we're not making money in our business, why our hard work is not paying. Because you will soon realize that that kind of entrepreneurship by necessity cannot sustain your business. Very, very critical. It can't sustain your business. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to sit down. Yes, I started this business out of necessity, which is good. But where do I see myself in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years? This thing is very critical. And let me shock you. I was listening to a podcast recently over the week, and I heard this man, the owner of Landmark Event Center in Lagos. He said there's a lease agreement they signed for about 35 years. Can you imagine? 35 years. And I begin to wonder, this man is over 60 something years, and you are signing a lease agreement for 35 years. You can see how these people think. So they are not in business for just entrepreneurship by necessity. No, they have a long-term view, long-term perspective. So this man is in business for the long-term view, not because it's by entrepreneurship by necessity. So even if you come into it out of necessity, it's okay. I that I'm talking to you, I came into the business out of necessity. I need to survive. I need to take care of my home. I need to take care of my needs, my wife, my children, my kids, and my loved ones. But as I begin to grow, and I'm also intentional about how do I want my business to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, that I was not intentional to begin to learn how these things work. It's very important. Because most times I see people will say, my hard work, I'm not making money. No, 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 no. If you enter a business out of the entrepreneurship necessity, you must change that mindset. That's what I always tell people. There's most time when they come to me for counsel, I will say, look, why are you going to business? And sometimes some of them will tell me because, I saw a friend of mine doing it and, he's making money from it. I will say, look, that is too risky. If your why is not strong enough, you will get frustrated. And that's why statistics show that over 80% of businesses that are started within the first 5 years failed. Why? Because of things like this. Because most of the time we started this business out of necessity, which is good. But as you start, now you have come into the industry, fine. Then why am I seeing myself in the next 5 years? In the next 10 years? This thing is very, very important. You must settle this within yourself. And the moment you're able to settle this, it also gives you an edge. It gives you a leverage. Because you now see a clearer picture. I'll just give you an example about Landmark. Signing a lease agreement for 35 years. That's wonderful. So this is how these people think. They are not just thinking for themselves. And I'm sure God Harris, who knows, he may be alive by then, but who knows, he may also not be alive. But he's not just thinking about him alone. He's thinking beyond him. Beyond him. And he's putting in systems and structure in place to be able to scale the business. So whether he's there or not, he already has a long-term view. And believe me, The person that have a long-term view with who has a short-term view, the one with a short-term view has a higher risk. Because the truth of the matter is this: business is a journey. You don't get to the final destination. That's the truth. The moment you achieve the first stage, you say, thank God, I've arrived. The next stage is knocking at your door. And once you get the second stage, the third stage is knocking at your door. In fact, most of the time I've come to realize from my own humble experience in life, that in life or in business is either you are getting out of one trouble or one challenge in business or one challenge in your life, or you are coming into a new phase of another challenge. That's how it is in business, even in real life. So you are never settled. That is why you see when you set a goal and that goal is achieved, what do you do next? You move. You move to the next stage. That's how it is in business. So that entrepreneurship by necessity has killed a lot of small businesses. And that is why I see statistics is alarming. Over 80% fail within the first 5 years. Why? Because of things like this. So you must move your mindset, move your perspective from the entrepreneurship by necessity and having an entrepreneurship perspective on a long-term view, seeing the business far bigger than you. This thing is very critical. And let me shock you. There are no big businesses you see today that did not start small. All businesses started small, irrespective of the amount of the initial investment to start up that business. All businesses started small. Just think about it. Is it like Jeff Bezos? Is it Amazon? Is it Facebook? Just look at their history. They all started small. In fact, there was a time in their life where they never thought that they could scale this big. But they have a long-term view. And that's why they are where they are today. So you must move your mind from the mindset of survivor away from number 2, the entrepreneurship by necessity. This thing is very critical. And let's look at number 3 today. Number 3 point we're looking at today is, who are your target market? Who are your target market? This thing is very important. Now, let me tell you a story. Now, the bigger the problem, the bigger the profits. And the bigger the problem also determined by the people you are targeting to serve. Now, if you are targeting the mass market, which is good, you also know that your profitability is also, the margin is small. Of course, then you are counting on the volume. Then if you are dealing with middle class, yes, your profitability can also go a little bit up, but you know that there also a limit to it. Then if you are dealing with the rich and the super wealthy, in that part, you are not looking at quantity. They are more interested in quality. And you can actually make more profit margin. So in your market segmentation, in your target market, you must ask yourself, what kind of business am I into? And who is my target market? This is very important. You must know who your market is. Is it a mass market, which is also good? Is it the middle class market, which is also important? Or is it the elite or the wealthy target market? You must clearly spell this out. That is why sometimes you can see the same product can sell for as cheap as 1,000 naira in a place like mainland, and in a place like Ireland. In case you are watching us from outside the country, I'm talking about Nigeria, precisely in Lagos. We have mainland, we also have island. In a place like mainland, you can buy a product for, let's say, 1,000 naira, and you can get a place like island, you can get that same product for 2,500 or even 5,000. Why? They have a different target market. So sometimes when I ask people in business, who are you targeting? You must understand this thing. Who is your target market? Very important. The moment you understand who your target market is, it helps you to know how to package your product and services to suit their appetite. Very important. Just imagine you want to serve a multi-millionaire your service or your product, and it's mediocre. No, it's not accepted. In fact, I overheard Dr. Olumide Mani, one of my mentors I follow online, talk about a barber coming to cut his hair in an hotel, and the barber charged 150,000. He said he could no price. That is packaging. The man knows who his market is. And so when the young man was coming, he came with all the equipment, with this traveling bag, with soft music, with machine to massage the head. This is a hair he can actually cut for less than 20,000. But he cut the same hair for 150,000. And he's not with the funny. He said he cannot price. Why? The guy knows his market. So that kind of person is not looking at mass market, he's looking at the quantity. He may not cut more than 5 hair in a month, but you can actually cut over 1,000 hair, but you may not make as much profit as he's making. So you must know your market. I might say mass market is not good, very important. We need them. But you must understand who your market is. This thing is important. So we have the mass market, we have the middle class, we also have the elite or the wealthy market. So who is your target market? This thing is very, very important. Who is your target? Who are you segmenting your market, your product and services for? Is it for the mass market? Is it for the middle class? Or is it for the elite? This thing is very, very critical. But most time when I see people telling me about, hey, sales is poor, things are not working fine, and I say, okay, who is your market segment? Who are you targeting? They say anybody. I say no. You are not called to serve everybody. You are not El Shaddai. Rather, you will soon die. Even God Almighty also has his place. So you must know who your market is. Very, very important. Then number 4 we're looking at today is the right positioning. The right positioning. Just imagine somebody going to put a 5-star hotel. Let me take, for example, Sheraton Hotel. You want to go and locate Sheraton Hotel in a place like Agege. For those of you watching from outside the country, Nigeria, Agege is a place in Lagos State, the local government in Lagos State. You know the location is wrong. Because Sheraton Hotel is assumed as a 5-star hotel, cannot function properly to the maximum in Agege. Or just say, for example, you want to do beauty and spa, and you want to go and situate it in Ajegule. Ajegule is a lovely place. What we are saying, the market positioning is wrong. So you must understand these things. The right location determines who see you. Who see you determines the money that you're going to make. Then if you place your business in the location that does not have the kind of market fit you are hoping to target, it's already a wrong fit. So this thing is very, very important. So you must understand how these things work. The right location is critical. Very, very. And the location also determines their earning power in that area. Because if you're going to situate a business in Highland, you know what the earning power is over there. You can actually make more sales in terms of quality of goods compared to mainland. So because the location or the position determines their earning power. The people staying in this particular area, what is their earning power? This thing is very important. I learned this thing the hard way. So you don't go and situate business because the shop or the office there is cheap. No, it's an error. In fact, from my experience, let me shock you. I've come to realize it's better to pay 2 million or 1 million or 5 million as a rent in the location you are targeting than to go and pay 500,000 or 900,000 as rent. So your positioning is important. That's why I see people going as far as Ireland to go and get office. Why? Because you that set trap with elephant, you know what you're going to catch. Yeah, we also set trap with rabbit, you also know what you're going to catch. This thing is critical. So we must understand how this thing works. Because oftentimes I will hear people saying, hey, I'm not making money in spite of all my hard work, this and that. I will say, look, you must understand these 4 things. Number 1 is your mind reset. What is your mindset about your hard work, about your business. Even as an entrepreneur, what's your mindset? Sometimes I see people say, hey, I can't come and kill myself. You must kill yourself. You must kill yourself. Because if you cannot come and kill yourself on another man's own, even the Bible says, he that is faithful to another man's own, he that is not faithful to another man's own, who will give him his own? You must be faithful with little before you can what? Be qualified to handle much. So the mindset is critical. Very, very critical. That's number one. Number two, as we do a recap now, number two is what? The entrepreneurship by necessity. Even if you enter the business out of necessity, which is good, but you must begin to watch, transition, and have a long-term view. I'll give you an example of landmark. This thing is very, very critical. The number three part is what? Who is your target market? Sometimes people say, in spite of all my hard work, I'm not making money and things are not working. The business is not working. No, 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 no. Once you understand these four steps, you will be able to actually leverage better. Who is your target market? One of my mentors of mine, I love his talk a lot, talking about Dr. Stephen Akita, he will say, look, two poor people cannot help themselves, which is true. You are going to situate your business in a poor environment, and your perspective or your target market is people that can actually afford, let's say, for example, the middle class. It's already a wrong positioning. That's number four. Your positioning is critical. So these things are very, very critical. So as we go on this journey of our 7 days life on how to fix your business, we must understand this first step we have shared today. Why your hard work is not making you money. Have you seen why now? I'm excited to have you here today. This is just the beginning. I hope to see you tomorrow by 6 p.m. West African time, where we'll be going deeper into more things that will expose your mindset and let us grow together in business. If you got value from today's episode, do well to hit the subscribe button now. Share this thing and like it, and turn your notification bell so that you can get to hear about the latest as we begin to bring out the latest edition of this podcast. Never you forget, no one lives long enough to make all the mistakes. We learn from those ahead. Thank you very much. I'm excited to have you here today. I remain your humble boy, Michael Abayi. See you tomorrow at 6 p.m. God bless you.